Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here. We have a battle with Randan. This seems like it's going to be a long battle because it's a 6v6 singles, and the moral of the story is to never give up. So I can't wait to see how this battle ends up coming through for us today. Right now we have the whole battle sequence starting up. Tentacruel leading up against the Sableye. Okay, this is kind of a crazy matchup right now. I don't think I've really seen this one too much. So Sableye leading with that taunt, going to stop Tentacruel setting up spikes or toxic or whatever it's going to do. Tentacruel is now not going to be able to do much. Free withdrawal right there into the Aegislash. If you get a Will-O-Wisp burn prediction right there, boom, that's what it's about. So free Will-O-Wisp. Now this could be a special Aegislash, which means that the opponent is not completely down and out. But overall, it's a good play right there. So Sableye going for the taunt, just making sure it's not going to be able to use the Swords Dance. And then it's just going to force it into that Shadow Ball, which is what I'm expecting. Yeah, there's the Shadow Ball. No weakness policy proc, no really idea of what item it's got. Not doing a lot of damage to, wow, that was about a third right there. Sableye going for the Sucker Punch, and that's how you wreck an Aegislash. Oh, it was a crit, but still, Aegislash doesn't have much on the defenses. That's a lot of damage, and yeah, that's a ban-worthy Pokemon right there. So now Will-O-Wisp onto the Greninja. Sableye doing what he can just to ruin the opponent's day. So Dark Pulse comes out from the Greninja. Gonna see how this works. Good amount of damage, not enough for the KO. Sableye just being bulky beast. I'd imagine it's hit points and pure special defense, and then using that Will-O-Wisp for its defensive tankiness. And there's the Moonlight healing up. Oh man, right there. Dark Pulse not doing enough, doing Sableye at more health than when the turn ended. This Greninja just getting burned down. Sableye being just a beast right now. Wow. Shutting out the Tentacruel, taking down the Aegislash, and now really just ruining Greninja. Ah, Greninja going for the taunt now that he realized, wow. Greninja packing taunt is something of its own surprising merit right there. So Sableye knows it can't do much. We're going to save him for a later time. Greninja already taking, what about, 3/8 of his health from all that. And in comes Cobalion. Greninja going Dark Pulse. Great absorption right there. Not very effective. Justified gaining some free stats. Good predictions right there. Greninja dropping down to about half health. Using that extra sensory with its speed. Will it be enough is the big question here. So I mean, we do have the potential of flinch, but it looks like Sacred Sword will come through. Extra Sensory not doing a lot of damage, or Extra Sensory making Greninja that Psychic type, not doing a lot of damage, but Burn finishing it off in the end. Cobalion with a decent amount of hit points, and that +1 still on it right now. In comes Tentacruel though. Cobalion setting up the Stealth Rocks. Tentacruel is going to set up something of his own. Toxic Spikes. And now we're going to see like what else this Tentacruel has. Volt Switch coming in, just in and out, doing a little damage to Tentacruel, not too much. And we get to see the next plays coming up here. Dragonite comes in. This could be real right here. So Dragonite just, you know, flies over the toxic spikes. Tentacruel making those toxic spikes poison, like toxic poison level right now. Withdraws Tentacruel, and now he thinks he's got a setup going, goes into the Skarmory. Skarmory is just going to be a bulky Pokemon that can resist Dragonite fairly well depending on how this goes. And Dragonite getting that free Dragon Dance. But it's going to take a lot of stats to be able to catch up to a Skarmory. Especially if you don't have Thunder Punch or Fire Punch, this matchup could be pretty futile. Skarmory takes the hit, even at the +1, not very effective, not a lot of damage. Skarmory goes and Whirlwinds out, and here is where the Skarm setup becomes insane. So now every Pokemon is going to get drug out through those toxic spikes and become badly poisoned, while Skarmory gets the chance to, you know, roost and outbulk the Pokemon. This was a very common strategy back with like Stealth Rocks and Spikes. You have Skarmory just go in Whirlwind, you have other Pokemon War, and there it is! I was just about to bring it up. Classic SkarmBliss. I have not seen a classic SkarmBliss in many a generation, and that's what it's all about right there. You use Skarmory for the defensive setup. You use Blissey for the special defensive setup. You're forcing out switches left and right. They're going into, well, unfortunately no Stealth Rocks, but they're going into Stealth Rocks, Spikes, Poison Spikes. Blissey coming out with the Minimize. And this is giving me chills because this is like the 4th generation shenanigans right here. Bit of 5th generation as well, and that's classic. So in comes Cobalion, and this is where, you know, now Cobalion's toxic. Everyone's kind of getting boiled down. Bliss is going to take it up back up to full health, and now, you know, Skarmory's going to get that switch that it needs if this is played right. Yep, there's the withdraw into Blissey. You bring in something that resists, like the Skarmory on that physical, and it's going to take the Stealth Rocks. The Stealth Rocks is kind of slowing this down just a bit. Cobalion whiffing the Toxic as well because of the Skarmory. Sacred Sword coming in. Neutral hit. Skarmory being that incredible defensive tank gets the free roost. And that's kind of how this setup really just messes you up. So Volt Switch onto Cobalion. And it looks like we might have a back and forth here. Switches out, and it's probably going to go into the Greninja again. Just going to give it that chance. Free damage on the Blissey. And now we see why people don't... Oh, Skarmory getting the free Stealth Rock, though. This is going to get a lot more insane. If Skarmory wants to risk and hang in there for the Whirlwind, that could have changed things right there, honestly. That should have stuck in for the Whirlwind. Now Bliss is going to take a little damage from the rocks. Not really a lot, though. Greninja using Scald. I don't think that would have done a lot to Skarmory, honestly. There's a lot of resistance going on right there. Getting some decent damage and the burn onto Blissey. So good prediction on the Scald, at least, that you want to get that burn in going in your favor. Greninja being hurt by poison. Blissey taking, you know, a lot of damage from that burn. You know, an 1/8 of your health as a tanky Pokemon is not something you shrug off. And then it looks like we're going for the flinch hacks on the extra sensory is my guess. Blissey still gets off the soft boiled, heals up a good amount of health. Burn's going to do some damage. And now it looks like Greninja is going to try to get some use until it goes down to that toxic. So, hurt by poison. My guess, Blissey might or might not go for the offensive, I don't know. Toxic isn't going to do anything right now, so I mean, Blissey can be holding that Seismic Toss. Could have gone for the Minimize to just have some sticking power. And Seismic Toss right there, finishing off Greninja with that 50 damage. And Blissey taking some damage on the burn. Like, this is where you can pick up the Blissey right now with the Garchomp. Garchomp's going to take some damage and get poisoned, though. So, I mean, it's going to take a lot of stubbornness to get through this Blissey. And that's if it doesn't switch out. So, there's the withdrawal on the Blissey. An excellent prediction here could make or break the game on the Skarmory. The Garchomp doesn't really carry anything that Skarmory is going to be afraid of, you know. Skarmory takes a hit from the rocks, goes for the dual chop from the Garchomp. Not doing a lot of damage, though. Trying to get as much damage out as possible. Not very effective. I feel like Rock Slide would have been one of your better options right there, but in the end, can't really get much done against this. Garchomp just saying, screw it, going for the Outrage. Ultimate Pain. Skarmory hanging in there and surviving. That's a free roost for Skarmory. That's some extra turns on the Garchomp, and that's Garchomp being locked into the Outrage. Poison and Confusion is heading up. Oh, the filth comes in. And this is like just old school strategy still walling in today's modern society of 6th generation. Who would have thought? So Skarmory just spamming that roost now. It's got a lot of health, it's got a lot of sustain, it doesn't have much to worry about. You know, all it has to do is just keep enduring these Garchomp outrages. Garchomp confuses itself, that's a lot of damage from poison. Overall, you know, Garchomp's not... Skarmory's right where he wants to be right now. That's pretty much what's going on. Outrage not doing a lot. Skarmory has the opportunity to even set up some spikes if it wants to right now. Just staying safe with that roost, though. Doesn't want to get, like, double crit or fall into something silly. It's using up a lot of that valuable PP, though, so maybe some misplays could come through. There's the hurt from the poison. Switching out, resetting that Toxic timer, getting Toxic into a new Pokemon, and taking damage from the rocks. Volcarona is not going to be happy with this one. Poisoned and ridiculous on the stones. Coming into that 4 times, getting whirlwinded out immediately. Free damage onto Garchomp and the Volcarona. Next time Volcarona hits the field, it's a KO. Okay, there's no coming back from this. Like, Sableye is really the only ace in the hole right now. I don't really see what he can do. So, Whirlwind coming out. What's this? Does it drag out? Oh, it drags out Cobalion. That would have just been a shame to drag out the Volcarona. So, Cobalion uses Volt Switch. the ally, I don't know, like there's not a lot that can be done right now. You're just falling right into what SkarmBliss wants with all the switches. In comes Volcarona again, just going to get off the field. That was a bad switch into the KO. You had a lot of opportunities to bring out Volcarona and maybe try to claw back something from this game. Like with the Volt switch going to Volcarona, or maybe even Sableye. Like if SkarmBliss was burned this whole time, he would have at least had to face some problems. Sableye getting poisoned though. Sableye is going to take a little damage from rocks. It's got some Moonlight left in it, but here we go. Probably going into the Blissey, eating up that burn. So if there's a Will-O-Wisp coming out from Sableye, it's not going to do much. Oh, Blissey with the healer ability comes in. Blissey gets taunted as well, so healer, or is it healer or regenerator? One of those. I'm trying to remember. Blissey has Serene Grace or Natural Cure, I think is what it's called. So when it switches out, it doesn't stay poisoned, burned, or whatever status anymore. And Natural Cure very strong on these stally kind of Blissies right there. Will-O-Wisp coming into Tentacruel. Rocks doing just a touch of damage. Tentacruel versus Sableye yet again. Tentacruel's already got a setup going, so I think this is just, you know, bringing in Tentacruel, stalling out the Sableye. And this battle is really getting crazy. So Garchomp comes in. Garchomp's going to take damage from the rocks. Going to take damage from the poison at the end of the next turn. Or at the end of the turn. It's... Scald eats the Scald, goes down. What can be done right now? Honestly, like this is that long drawn out battle. In comes Dragonite. Dragonite's going to lose its multiscale. Going to take a chunk from those rocks. And now it looks like it's going to pray for setup. I mean, once SkarmBliss comes in, we know Dragonite's in trouble. Don't know what could have been done there, really. So now SkarmBliss comes in. Not going to let Dragonite set up. Going to just Whirlwind it away. But can we get some luck here? I don't know if a crit Dragon Claw would even work right now. Dragon Claw not doing a lot. SkarmBliss getting that roost in. Dragonite not with enough coverage to really bring this one through. Any of the elemental punches would have been brilliant to have right now. In setting up the Dragon Dance now, I feel it could have been better just setting up against the Tentacruel, you know, getting 2 Dragon Dances, trying to get something done. But overall, everyone on the opponent's team making sure Toxic lands, making sure someone's poisoned, making sure someone's taking damage, stalling out with SkarmBliss and Blissey. Once that SkarmBliss breaks though, a lot of it falls apart. So we're going to see how this goes. SkarmBliss using that Whirlwind, taking off the +1 from Dragonite. Dragonite's now poisoned as well. Cobalion comes in, takes the damage from the rocks, kind of being really all that SkarmBliss has working against it. Sacred Sword, a little bit of damage. SkarmBliss using that Roost. Looks like SkarmBliss could run out of Roost here very soon, if it only has the maximum PP, or even if it doesn't. I think Roost is 10 PP. I want to say. So I mean, even then, like it could run out here, and then you're in trouble with this strategy. So I mean, once that SkarmBliss breaks, there's not a lot left for the ally right now. So SkarmBliss using Whirlwind, swapping out that damage. Every time those rocks hit, you don't get that damage back. Just a little bit extra to the pile. So Dragonite comes in, takes that poison damage though from the swap. A lot of hate. A lot of hate. That was 5/8 of its health right there. Wait, not 5/8. It was 1/4 plus an... Oh. Yeah, that was like 3/8 right there. So Whirlwind yet again, and SkarmBliss, I think it's out of Roost, so it's just going to keep swapping through everything. Now it's just on its last, like SkarmBliss on its last breath, just making sure everyone's going to take as much damage as possible. SkarmBliss gets withdrawn though. Blissey comes in to tank up the Sableye. And now that we know what's going on, now that we know that the Will-O-Wisp, it has Natural Cure, so now we know the Will-O-Wisp will work. Which is how this is kind of like working out right now. Little bit of burn from the Blissey. It's going to take a miracle right now to knock this thing out. Sableye with the taunt. No soft boiled for Blissey. Blissey stayed in, fell for the taunt. Burn comes in. Now it has to switch out or just, you know, come down to the burn. Sableye making it happen on the last turn. I would have gone for the Will-O-Wisp right here if I was Sableye, knowing there's no other option for me. If he can land the Will-O-Wisp, this could get real. I want to see a good prediction. Oh, Sableye going for the Moonlight. Never mind. That's still actually probably a better play then. So I was thinking like with that with the Toxic, Sableye being stronger. So I mean, this could go anywhere. Ooh, Sableye going with the double Moonlight. The Toxic is adding up, trying to keep itself healthy, trying to buy itself that extra 1 or 2 turns. What's Rotom going to do? Rotom's going to miss the Hydro Pump. Sableye is going to take, I want to say, that's like, what are we on, the 4th turn? No, that's 3/8 of its health right there. Switching out the Dragonite, I would have gone for the burn, try to get as much into that as I can on the Rotom. So Shadow Ball comes in, Dragonite takes a hit. How did Dragonite gain health? Am I forgetting something? Because I thought Dragonite was really low last time we saw him. So Shadow Ball coming in from the Rotom. Dragonite hanging on with 2 hit points, gets the Roost. But where's the setup? Oh, I guess Dragonite used Roost before getting Whirlwinded out. Right. A lot of things are happening in this long battle. It's been very, very long time. So Poison coming in. Dragonite using the extreme speed to its advantage. Gets some damage on the Rotom. I think Dragon Claw just would have been straight up more damage overall. Don't know why the speed rush is there. Poison at the end of that Shadow Ball. I would like to stick in for the burn, honestly, if I was that Sableye. But resetting the Toxic Timer might pay out. So in comes Cobalion. Are we going to get a Volt Switch? Are we going to just get some extra damage? Cobalion resisting those swords, or resisting those stones, going into the Sacred Sword. Doing some good damage onto Rotom, though. Thunderbolt going to finish off Cobalion. Critical hit. Oh. The humanity. Might have been a KO anyways. Cobalion not having a lot going for it. Sableye comes in. Does it go for the Will-O-Wisp? Does it? Oh, Sucker Punch straight up. Takes the damage into Rotom. Good land right there. You know, actually that was a good idea. You know, not really understanding that, or understanding that Poison can't really burn down anything else. Like the Rotom, it can't do anything against that Poison. So Skarmory comes in. Will-O-Wisp onto Skarmory. Finally, if this Skarmory is out of Roost, this battle might be over very soon. Oh, no, there's another Roost right there. Sableye can bring the taunt, can use the Moonlight, but I think Sableye, I want to say Sableye is like going to not have a good time right here. You use taunt, you get to use your Moonlight, you get to use Moonlight again, and then you just have to hope the Toxic, you know, you can out-heal the Toxic a lot right there. So Poison gets damaged. A little extra damage on the Skarmory from the burn. Moonlight coming in. I don't think it's gonna happen. Like I don't think it can happen right now. Skarmory is just being too much. Oh wait, what? This battle has gone on so long. Skarmory has struggled because of the taunt. Oh, ruined. That's I was not expecting that. So yeah, the taunt. Skarmory has no moves to use, and then it's just going to struggle itself down. Wow. It just kind of shows that, you know, if this was done earlier in the game, actually no, I think this was about as crazy as this battle could have ended. Skarmory's taunt wore off. Sableye just, you know, on point with that taunt timer. Hey, come at me, bro. Can't use the Roost. Poison doing so much, but there's the burn at the end of the turn. Skarmory with the feint. Oh, that's uh-oh. Oh man. Blissey! Oh no, Blissey comes in, the stones finish it off! The Stealth Rock survival at the end! And that is a long and crazy single battle. Coming down to the last Pokemon of the last turn for reals, you know. We kind of have to go through that one again. Tentacruel getting outplayed by Sableye. Sableye ruining that Aegislash's day. Skarmory and SkarmBliss combo becoming an insane threat, burning down almost everything the opponent had, or Randan had. And then it just kind of came down to Cobalion and Sableye trying to just make room where they could. That was ridiculous right there. That was a crazy crazy battle. Sableye being the true hero of singles right there. Hope you guys enjoy the first Fan Friday. We got 3 more of this. We got 3 more Fan Fridays. That's insane.